Hello, people. Another beautiful day. Yeah. Sitting here trying to gotta get this done. I hope your faucet is working. Your health and strength is good. Oh my god. Anyway, sitting here read up on this Steam Deck as usual. Find me a nice little article here. Just giving an overview of the Steam Deck, but it covers something that the other articles that did. This article covers something that the other article didn't do, or they did do, but this is just an overview of the Steam Deck, But other than that, it's on track to be launched in February, and let's hope the pandemic ain't throwing a monkey wrench in the plan. I think like 80 of the top 100 games work on work on the Steam Deck, and then 30% of them, 30% of out of 100 runs flawless. So when it comes to games on the Steam Deck, I think just like how I think the developers need to make games that for the Linux, like for the Linux operating system. Let's say you make a Call of Duty. You make it for like Ubuntu operating system or Debian, whatever Linux operating system that's out there. I think that's what they should do, because I know like Quake 3 I know with Quake 3 there's a Linux version for Quake. So developers maybe need to start thinking like, okay, when we make games now, we're gonna make it for both Windows and Linux. Okay, there's gonna be a Windows version, or there's gonna be a Linux version, or make games that are Mac and that are Linux and Windows compatible. And that's it, and then go from there. Because some of the games, some games might not work with. Some games are made just for Windows only. So that might cause a problem with Proton. So developers may need to start making games for make games for Linux that work for Linux, and then make games that work for Windows, and then go from there. It'll make things more easier. But anyway, this article is on Niche Gamer. It says here, for those unfamiliar Valve Steam Deck runs Windows games through Proton, a compatibility layer that enables the Linux-based Steam OS to properly run Windows-only games in Linux. There is a separate channel from the native Linux port of games on Steam which do exist. The folks over at Proton DB conducted an analysis that confirms a new Proton game compatibility milestone, with 80% of Steam top 100 games running perfectly on Proton, with a few small tweaks. Only 30% of the top 100 runs flawless or native on Linux. However, a number of factors are keeping the majority of games from being very or totally compatible with Steam OS through Proton. These include things like anti-cheat and digital rights management (DRM) software that are both used to stop third-party code to exploit multiplayer, or the attempt to stop piracy. Updating these games with Linux/Proton compatibility version would help, but removing them altogether is arguably the best thing for fans, as currently big games like New World and Destiny 2 remains unplayable on Steam OS. There are also a number of games that are only coded for Windows. It's another problem, and have various compatibility issues with Linux. So, some games, are coded for Windows. And like I was saying before, developers like take Destiny. I think Bungie should make a Linux version for Destiny, like Destiny 1 and 2. You know, make a Linux version where you have Destiny 1 with all the expansions included, and then with Destiny 2, you make that for Linux. Make a Linux version, and then put all the expansions except for the with the latest expansion and all the older ones, and then sell it at a price. And I think that might help. That might help overcoming that obstacle, because like the article says, some games are unplayable on Steam. So one way to fix that is to make a Linux version of a game, and make a Windows version of a game, and then make a Linux version of a game. Because you got people out there that are Linux users, you got people out there that are Windows users, and then you got people out there that are Apple users. So to fix this problem, since everybody's since there's because some companies are competitors to one another, the best way to fix this situation, I think, is to make a Linux version of a game, and then make a Windows version, or make the game Mac, Windows, and Linux compatible. Call it a day. Just like how they have Quake 3. They have a Linux version. They have Quake 3 there's a Linux version of Quake 3. So in the future, when they make games now, they should make games that are Mac, Linux, and Windows are compatible. And that'll solve some of the problems. Since piracy is an issue, and since piracy is an issue, so maybe the developers need to take that into consideration. But other than that, the Steam Deck is on track to be released in February of this year. Now let's hope the pandemic don't throw a monkey wrench into that plan. You know what I'm saying? So, but right now the pandemic was a test for Valve to see if they was gonna give up, or they was gonna follow through on it. So right now Valve is looking forward to February for the launch of the Steam Deck. So they're trying to get things in order. But so far so good. With 80% of the games that are running on this that are playable, 80% of the top 100, and only 30% of the top 100 runs flawlessly. That's good news to hear. So that means it's not all bad. For the Steam Deck, there's some good news. There's some good news. To talk about. So, and plus, Steam will be getting more games in 2022. That's another thing. So the Steam Deck fans gonna have their hands full with the amount of games they got to play. It's just that these companies are competitors to one another, and some games will work and others won't. So that's just the way it is. It's just like how Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo are competitors with one another. They you never see Uncharted on a Nintendo console or Uncharted on a Xbox console. Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo are competitors. It's the same with Apple, Linux, and Windows. They're competitors. So not everything is gonna go. Not every game is gonna work on every platform. So, but some games are Mac, Windows, and Linux are compatible. So, things are still looking good on the Steam Deck. As far as gaming is concerned. But other than that, man, that's the news I got to report on the Steam Deck. Steam Deck, that is. It's coming out in February. And one person said in a comment, "R.I.P. Vita." So yeah, the Steam Deck got 50,000 games to choose from, man. So that is enough, So of course you're gonna have some games that might not work because they're coded for a certain operating system. So You know, like I said, you know, the developers need to make the game, make a Linux version of a game, or make a Windows version of a game, or make an Apple version, or better yet, make the game Mac, Windows, Linux compatible. Call it a day, you know. But that's just my thoughts. But anyway, leave a link in the description box. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing. Borg, Dark Side. I'm gone. Peace. Meep, meep.